Okay. Oh, fuck. I think I can still reach my mouse. What side is this? Fuck. Okay. Alright, we are good. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so you know me from League though, right?
Yeah, most
Okay.
definitely.
Okay. So it's not like this is like you're just from another game and you're asking me for coaching.
No. It all started with summoning Inside.
Okay. Um. So let's see. Hold on. Let me just look at your questions really quick. Well, let me not shuffle the chips right next to the mic. That might be bad. All right.
You'll note everything kind of ties into each other.
Okay. Wait. What is the goals? 1 second. Can I scroll down? Oh, okay. Well, I'm apparently an idiot because the questions cut off the goals. I can see that on my second monitor. Reach top 1,000 players. Be able to... What does that say? Fuck.
Keep a clear mind when playing both on and off stream.
Okay. Really keep it clear. So you stream OSU? Does it have...
Yeah, about 7 hours a day.
Okay.
In fact, one of my viewers is in the chat at the moment. I can
Okay.
pretty much count my entire viewer base on one hand, but whatever.
Okay. Alright, so talking points. Nerves when streaming, one note tilt. I assume you mean like if you miss a circle?
Yeah, pretty much. I miss something and it's just, oh god, the world's on fire.
Okay. My physical grasp. What does that mean? Like how you hold your mouse or what?
Something I know I can play essentially perfectly. I can get all perfect hits, but I'll miss in a random area every time. It's never the same spot. But otherwise, I completely shit on the beat map.
Okay, so alright, so first let me ask you a few questions so that I can, go about this properly. OSU,
No
like,
problem.
are the maps? I'm just gonna use map, but maybe that's not what you guys call it. But is the songs or whatever the hell it is, are the beats always in the same place, like where you have to put your mouse?
Yes, yes. You memorize the map as you're learning it, and through that you get better at playing the map. You get a higher combo, and eventually, take the whole thing without missing a note, etc., etc. Hopefully, you do it with good accuracy.
Okay, so then this game technically has a ceiling. Like it's not a non-obtainable. It's like Guitar Hero.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically Guitar Hero for weebs.
Yes, this is much harder than Guitar Hero, but yes, it's basically Guitar Hero. Okay, um, that's actually kind of good. My ex girlfriend went to. Do you know what World Cyber Games is?
Yes,
She
yes.
went to World Cyber Games for Guitar Hero, and I
Oh,
helped her in
awesome.
Guitar Hero, even though I didn't play it. That was a really long time ago. We're going back years now, but that okay. So nerves when streaming. So what is with the nerves when streaming? If you're saying that you don't have a very big following, then at the same time it sounds like stage fright type stuff where it doesn't matter how many people you're speaking in front of. You just get nervous.
Being a career musician, I have no problem performing in front of people on a stage. That's what I do. That's what I live for. But when I'm streaming
Uh-huh.
and I'm playing at what's meant to be a high level, I constantly have that on my mind because I don't want to just whack on my stream and give people something boring and whatever to watch. I want to put on a good show for them. You're there to be an entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's constantly in the back of my mind, and it starts fucking me over slowly, bit by bit.
Okay. Um. Now, where does the nervousness come from? Because I'm assuming then that when you stream, you must have the chat open and you must glance at it periodically or something.
Yeah, it's
Have you ever?
simply nerves to perform.
So okay, so if you want to put on a good performance, like or something like that, and you're having issues with live streaming, you can do what some people in the past have done with live streaming, where they technically stream offline, and then they take the file and they stream it, but they're not actually live.
So pre-record.
It's like pre-record. I mean, basically you get to lip sync, in a way. But, I mean, I guess that's one alternative around it. Other alternatives to breaking nerves when streaming, it's gonna be just like anything in life. How do you get over stage fright? How do you get over, speaking in front of a classroom, which I guess is stage fright, but it's not to the same degree as stage fright. Nerves when streaming, I guess it's a funny thing that I've heard talked about, or it's been asked to me, probably hundreds of times throughout coaching sessions now, because obviously I get streamers that contact me or something, and I don't totally understand. I mean, okay, so that sounds a little bit harsh that I say I don't totally understand it, but I don't understand it in the sense that it's completely out of your control, and as long as you're not being ridiculed, there's no reason to feel it. Now, when it comes to live streaming, it's sort of like you can't do things that people in the real world would do to circumvent stage fright, such as not looking at the audience. Like that's a very weak...
I'm very thankful for
you know what I
stage
mean?
light.
Like, you cannot look at the audience. Who is it? There's some famous singer that sings with her back to the audience or something. She doesn't even look at the audience because she has stage fright or something like that. And obviously there's going to be minor ways to go around and ignore the nerves. But when you're live streaming, it's a little bit hard because you're assumed to be in one of the most comfortable positions you can be in. You're at your home,
Yeah.
So that's something that you would probably have to work on yourself with a coach, like, actively. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not something that can just be corrected inside of one session right now. And obviously, I know more than anyone that someone can tell you what to do, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do it. It's why there's a lot of people that are overweight, like...
Exactly.
just eat less, and they're like, well, how? It's like, what do you mean how? Like,
it's called put down the fork and get on a treadmill.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty much all there is for that. So I can't really give too much advice about nerves when streaming, other than maybe if you have like a friend, or maybe you said that you have a small community that watches you stream, or something.
Very small.
Okay, very small. You could just have maybe one of them sit in a Skype call with you. I don't know. Now, see, when we talk about games like Guitar Hero and OSU and stuff, I personally believe that you can, if we're talking about or if we use my latest video, Man vs. Machine, you can get to the point where it is autopilot, even for the highest or the most difficult games, or songs or whatever. In Guitar Hero, there was a song, Through the Fire and Flames. And, there are people that can do that with their eyes closed.
I got shit on by that thing so many times.
Right. So, games like this, they're able to be beaten at a point where you can just go on autopilot the entire time. And so because of that, I think what you can do to help with nervousness or anything is you can play songs that are way below your level, like super novice or something, and you can just sit on Skype with one of your viewers or something, and then you can keep working your way up to the highest tier. I mean, that's something that I told a master tier streamer once. I told him to just play on gold and sit in a TeamSpeak with his viewers and just talk with them. And then obviously he slowly moved up, and by the time he realized it, he was approaching his main's MMR, and he didn't realize it. And so I mean, that's sort of like I don't know if you would call that like a placebo, but yeah. Does that make sense?
Just to kind of offload the pressure to an offsider.
Right.
The whole distraction method.
Yes. I mean, obviously, though, if you're aware of what you're doing, maybe it doesn't work as well, but it can, even if you are aware of it, which is, I guess, weird, but yeah.
Totally get that.
One note tilt, miss and tilt off the face of the... Okay. One note tilt, so this is weird. I'm having, images of like the Karate Kid. I don't know if you ever watched that movie, like pop into my mind.
I've got
But
the
one note tilt.
collection.
I don't think. See, this is weird because I totally get what you mean. Because I don't know, like, you know, there's like this game I've been playing on stream for like the past 3 weeks called Winter Bells.
Oh yeah, the bunny
And
thing.
if I miss a bird, I go on tilt. Like,
Yep.
it's
Yep. You
there's
miss
no
one, then you miss the rest.
right. Um, so when tilt's an interesting thing to talk about because it's hard to really calculate like what makes you tilt and how you can control and go about containing your tilt and preventing yourself from tilting further and then ultimately just completely dropping the ball. So one note tilt in a game that again has a ceiling is interesting because you have to remind yourself, like, I think in a game that has a ceiling there's no recovery, right? Because technically if you miss something that just shouldn't be missed because it's not randomized, then you should just restart. That's my perspective. If you miss a note, then just be like, okay, it's gonna happen. You know, because there's absolutely no way that you were gonna get the song 100% of the time. It doesn't matter if you've done it, you know, a million times. That's why, like, professional bowlers. I don't even know how professional bowling exists. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. There's nothing you can do to make the other bowler miss his shot or anything. Like, it's technically all just pseudo pressure. Like, I don't even know how to describe that. Like, I don't get how bowling has professional leagues and stuff. Obviously there's bowlers that are really good and stuff, but technically you would assume that because bowling is technically you versus the pins, you should in theory be able to always get a perfect game, right?
Yep, most definitely.
And so if you're, you know, if you're bowling and you're just trying to work on perfect game or something, and you miss a strike, then we'll just wipe it because it doesn't matter if you then, you know, you get, I don't know, what is the max score in bowling, 300 or something? I think
Something
it's
like
3.
that.
I think it's 3. So if you miss out on, you know, if you're at 180, I don't even know if that's a score that you can get with perfect, and then you miss something, just restart. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't cost you anything. Okay.
I get that. I get that.
So, but as far as the tilt goes, you have to find where does the tilt come from, because generally the tilt comes from something, and usually it probably comes from you think that, you know, you should be performing better than you did perform, and obviously because you missed one note, you're not allowing yourself any sort of leniency.
Yeah, that brings to the bottom of the talking points. I am extremely self-critical.
Okay, no, that's fine. And so that's all there really is to that. Overcome mental walls preventing me from completing something well within my physical grasp. What do you mean by this? Overcome mental walls?
Say songs that I generally just shit on, but I will miss randomly, and it's always in a different spot. Yet I can hit consistent 300s, which is perfect hits, for the whole map, but I'll miss in 2 or 3 places and break my combo then, you know, for the map. When, if you look at the statistics, that shouldn't happen, because my accuracy is through the roof, and my unstable rate, which is essentially precision and consistency, is decent. You know, it's generally around 120 to 150, which is quite good for someone around my rank.
Uh-huh.
So those kind of things shouldn't happen, but I keep having this thing in my head of, okay, I need to keep doing better, do better. And I start thinking about not missing. And
see,
what do you know? I miss everywhere.
so okay, so that's the problem, is you start thinking. So you're still, so you know the quote I use a lot, a punch is just a punch is more than a punch is just a punch? That one?
Yep.
You heard that?
Yep.
Okay. You're like stuck in a punch is more than a punch. Completely just stuck there. And you're stuck there because you're overanalyzing. And when you begin to overanalyze, you're going to forever get caught inside of a cycle that anything, even if it was actually positive, is going to be completely thrown off kilter by even the slightest negativity. And so when now, something else I'm going to ask is, when you go to practice a map, per se, How often do you play it? Or like do you play one map and then another map and then another map? Because that just doesn't make sense. You should be playing like
If
one
I'm
map.
working, if I'm working on a map, I will spend a good few hours on it before I play anything else.
Okay, and how often do you play Blindfold?
Blindfold. I'm unaware of what you mean by that. Are you referring to the hidden mod?
No, I'm talking about you close your eyes and you play.
No, not at all.
Well, there's your next step. If you want to take your game further, you have to get to the point where you can play with your eyes closed. If you're not one with your mouse, then you're never gonna ascend to step 3. You're always gonna be in a punch is more than a punch.
So essentially, I need to make my tablet an extension of my arm.
Well, your hand, your mouse and your keyboard. See, this is why I never understood. Like, this is why I think amateurs, even in like high MMR and other games, like Starcraft or like League, Starcraft, etc., is your mouse. Like, usually when someone misses a skill shot, right? They miss the skill shot. But then sometimes you'll notice top tier pro gamers miss a skill shot and they freak out because they're like, no, my mouse was supposed to be here, or like because it's like an extension of their brain. You know, they're so in tune with their mouse movement, they can know exactly where it's gonna be at each second. There was something actually on this in StarCraft. I mean, there's numerous times. There's a video on YouTube, Boxer versus Blind Guy, where Boxer plays Blindfold for a few minutes, and it's absolutely terrible. But then there's another video of a Zerg player that plays Blindfold, and he's able to do a build order out to like 60 supply or something, just by being told what position he was at on the map. So like basically someone just said, okay, you spawned in top middle. So he knows what the base looks like, he knows where his camera is, he knows where everything is, and he was able to click everything completely accurately and do a build order to 60 supply before he had to like open his eyes. Because at that point, then it got... So, like, now, Twitch chat saying that I'm trolling about saying playing blindfolded, but I think that if your game does not have randomness, no, blindfold is beautiful. I think it's completely beautiful if it doesn't have randomness.
It's just a matter of memorizing the map.
Absolutely.
It's taking the hidden mod a step further.
Yes. I don't know what the hidden mod is, but
The hidden mod makes nodes vanish. Basically, they appear briefly, then they disappear, so you have to hit them as they disappear. So going blindfold is simply an extension of that.
Okay. So,
where you can't see the nodes at all.
Yeah. I mean, there is the chess thing where players they use a board that doesn't show any moves except for just the letters on the right hand side. The board never moved. The pieces never move, but they have to play mental. That's fun. I mean, there's also there's examples of chess professionals that play blindfold against people. And chess technically is a random game. It's not, well, it's technically not random, but it is random for human beings.
Every human plays differently.
A super computer, better than Deep Blue or whatever, would probably not be able to lose, because chess is limited. It's confined. So anyways, I think that would be something that you can entertain. Maybe not right now, but definitely in the future, is like eyes closed.
Yeah, I can say that. I can say that.
Slowly working your way up to stuff. But also, you want to do the thing like the Bruce Lee quote. Don't practice one kick 10,000 kicks once. Practice one kick 10,000 times. So don't jump all over the place, because a common issue that some like top laners or mid laners or supports or whatever, AD carries, like what they'll do is they'll play their role 20 games in a row, but they only ever play the same champion twice in a row, and it's just like, what are you doing? Like, hello, are you human?
Yep.
Like, and then they wonder why their champions never improve. And I'm like, well, because you're not actually practicing the champion, you're practicing the fundamentals, or not the fundamentals necessarily, You're practicing the lane. Well, you are practicing the fundamentals of the lane, but you are not practicing the fundamentals of the characters that you are piloting.
It's like comboing with LeBlanc. You're not going to learn that overnight.
Well, no, if you play 2 games of LeBlanc and then you go Kassadin, Victor, Anivia, Nidalee, Lulu, LeBlanc, Kassadin, Victor, Lulu, and then, you're completely brain dead and you throw out a Swain pick, you get 9 reports, you get banned, no. But, like, if you do that, yeah, your LeBlanc is never going to be super mechanically gifted, in any sense, because you haven't actually practiced LeBlanc's fundamentals. You've only practiced the fundamentals of mid lane as a core. So with OSU, definitely don't switch up every song that you're doing. You know?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that is
makes
what
sense.
you're doing, but
I
spam.
practice a certain set of songs just for technique. A streamy song, a more jump-based thing, one based on stacks of 3, or what others would refer to as triplets, one particular song with a lot of sliders. Each part, or each different map, is a specific technique I'm working on at the time, but I run through that,
You could
say 2 or 3 times just to make sure that, that's my warm-up before I practice anything that I'm working on.
you could also try counting. What I mean by that, okay, so this is gonna sound a little bit weird. Okay. So counting is something that I saw in Guitar Hero, and that's the only reason that I'm recommending it, but I also know that it's used in other things, in life. But, like, so say that your song starts out, and you hit all the beats. If you know where they are, you can pace yourself, you can align your mental and your physical, by pacing yourself by verbally saying numbers. So, like, if you know where the first circle is, you say 1 when you hit it, and then you look for where 2 is supposed to be, regardless, and it will align your mental and it'll align your physical, like the hands and stuff. If you get it out perfect, so then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you break, and then maybe you use letters, and then you devote a certain section to letters, and then you go back to numbers, and then you change it up, like, whatever, and you can do something like that, because that would be a way to force your mind, because if you say the number, your hand is gonna adjust. It's not like you're ever gonna think too fast or think too slow or whatever. I mean, I guess you could possibly think too slow if the song moves too fast and you're not speaking quick enough. But
Yeah, that's where approach rate comes into play.
yeah, okay. So there's that.
Yeah, approach rates are bitches.
Okay. What is this thing? Ladder anxiety. How is there a ladder?
Well, as I said, the rough metric that, I've spoken to various people about is call it a million player base. So
Okay.
wherever you sit, there's always going to people either falling below or going above you. So you can climb we'll call it 2K in one day. The scary thing about the OSU ladder is you can do that, but 3 other people can do just the same, and you're going to drop substantially. At high ranks, 3 is a lot.
Like going
I
up
guess that's
3 ladder positions?
yeah. How do I put this without sounding completely retarded? The more people that pass you within a certain time frame is how much you will see the minus every time you log in, or I think it's maybe 15 hours, 20 hours.
Okay.
So sometimes that number's really small, sometimes it's fucking huge. So you are constantly on your toes trying to avoid ladder decay, I guess I'll call it for now, if you know what I'm talking about.
No, okay, alright, so
Kind
why
of like the
not,
weak points of
not,
childhood.
okay, so why not just never look at the ladder and just keep playing the songs? As long as you are successful at the songs, you have to go up, right? Like you keep going up. Looking at the ladder sounds like to me someone that is more concerned with, now see, this goes back to that video that I just released, Man versus Machine. You are concerned with the fame more than you are with actually being good. So you're giving yourself anxiety simply by looking at something that does not concern you, because you have no way to make other people go up or down, because this is not League, this is not Starcraft. Okay, it's just like bowling. Technically, there's no way that you can make the other bowler perform worse. So all that actually matters is yourself. So you're doing yourself a disservice by actually looking at the ladder and caring about it. So you have to stop. Like the Man versus Machine quote. You like the idea of being really high up on the ladder, but you are not yet investing the actual effort to be high up on the ladder. And so because of that, you're limiting yourself. It's sort of like the thing that I talk about where if, let's say that hypothetically, you go to a casino and you set, your goal or something to win or earn $2,000. Well, now regardless of luck, let's say that you're not unlucky and you are going to climb up money-wise. Right? Like there's no luck involved and whatever. It's just you're gonna slowly and gradually climb. You are gonna blaze to 800, 1,000, okay? And then when you get to 1,000 and you get to the halfway point, there's gonna be a mental toll on you because you set a tier, you set something, that you have to reach. And because you have like deemed it out of your reach, or it's something that would be really good to have, etc., you then start applying pressure to yourself mentally, subconsciously. Even if not conscious, it's happening on a subconscious level. And so then the closer that you begin to get to 2,000, the slower your gains are going to become.
That makes a lot of sense.
I know that I'm using like poker as like an example here, but mostly
I
use this in
myself,
Starcraft.
so I totally get it.
Yeah, I used it in Starcraft a lot. That type of thing. Because there's players, and they're like top 16 master, and they're like, yeah, I want to get to rank 3 master. And then they get to like rank 6 and they're only 100 points out. And I'm like, you realize that the MMR of the games has barely changed and all you have to do is win 5 games and you're there. And they're like, oh, I can't do it. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, because they lost their ambition. They lost their fire because they feel so close to the end. You know what I mean? That they then begin to play differently because they begin to get cautious because they don't want to fuck up. You know what I mean? But the real skill,
the cautious part.
Yeah, the real skill comes in being able to just keep going.
Yeah, as you said, for the more concerned with fame thing, that's not actually how I look at it. I look at that number as that number goes down. So all the way down to, say rank 1, whatever, use as an example. I use that as a gauge of where I'm at, skill-wise. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm here now. If I was there, I'd be better. If I'm there, I'll be better. These people are passing me, therefore I need to improve past their
But what do those
points.
people have to do with you?
You know what? That's a valid fucking point.
They don't have anything to do with you. They have absolutely no influence on you. And you're saying that now, first off, I think that subconsciously you don't realize that you do care. And the reason that I say that is because why then is your goal reach top 1,000? Doesn't make any sense. You can't tell me that you don't care about it and then it's also simultaneously a goal. It doesn't make any sense.
I just look at that as a high tier of play.
Okay, but is it actually high? See, now I'm going to say to you what I say that some people find offensive, but don't take offense to it, okay? If you're master in League, you're still bad. Okay, these top 1,000 players are still bad because it still means that they still have not devised a way to beat a stale game. Because the game is technically stale. There is no randomness. Right? So, if this is like, fuck, what am I thinking of? There's like images popping in my head, but I can't make out where I want to go with them. But basically, okay, so top 1,000 isn't good, okay? And if you never look at that ladder and you do what I'm telling you with practicing one song over and over and over, focusing on the fundamentals, stop looking at the ladder, stop streaming, because if you stop streaming, you're also going to climb. There is very few streamers. Actually, I don't think there is a streamer that plays at the same skill level streaming that he does off stream. I just don't think it's possible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because even if there's 1% pressure, then that 1% pressure still is a negative impact on your gameplay. Now, it doesn't mean that there is going to be some games that you play on stream that are significantly above your normal level of play. But that is going to be called the exception.
Yeah, there'll be dime a dozen, whilst the most will be substandard.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Someone in chat said something about it's not really stale since maps are coming out. Oh, new songs come out every day?
All the time.
And you have to play the new songs to go up?
But
or what?
You don't have to play the new songs, but you're able to. Like, if I have a look right now, just today, I'm seeing... There's about 4 new today or something.
Okay, so this is sort of like the session that I had on YouTube with that guy that played Street Fighter. Okay? Like, imagine if... Did you ever play Street Fighter? Do you know it at all?
When I was younger, I used to play a lot of Street Fighter Alpha on the PS1.
Okay, so you know who Ryu is?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Most definitely.
So, imagine, like, Ryu is existing, and then Akuma becomes playable, and Evil Ryu becomes playable, and all these new characters keep getting added in with patches and whatever. And then Ryu is still perfectly fine, but aesthetically he's not pleasing, and, like, people consider him boring and, like, whatever. It doesn't change that Ryu can still win you tournaments. So, if new songs are coming out and you don't have to play them, well, then don't. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. New champions come out in League all the time. Do you want to bet how much Elo is lost every day that a champ comes out? A lot.
Yep.
It's called Freelo. And do you want to know how you get Freelo? By not playing that champion and not banning it. Because you're going to get all those idiots, okay, with their parents' credit card, or they can't resist, spending the money on the champion to get it, because you know that they don't play enough to have the IP for it. You know that's not how it's going on. And then they have the skin too, and you're like, that's your first game on the champ. Why do you have a skin for it? And they're like, well, because it looks pretty. And then you're like, yeah, it looks really pretty when I hit tab and you're 0-8. Like, it's the same fucking thing. Like, you don't need to play the songs then.
Yeah,
so don't...
I totally get that. Work on what's working for me and what my goal is.
Yes, because if your fundamentals are so strong on, let's just call it like the first gen songs, okay? If your fundamentals are so strong on the first gen songs and you're really high up on the ladder or something, then what you could do is you could maybe make another account, play the new gen songs, get good at them, then go back on your main account, because that's the same way that people do this thing called camping in Challenger. You know, you play once a month or something.
I understand that, however, there's a fundamental problem, and multi-accounting is very obvious in OSU and permabanable.
Multi-accounting is permaban. How do they find out you're multi-accounting?
IP.
Okay,
IP and Mac.
What is VPN for 400, Alex? Like, what?
Valid.
I don't understand. Like, yeah.
Hey, valid point's a valid point.
Okay.
Not gonna argue with that.
Critical Gen in chat is saying there's no generations, but I didn't mean generations literally. You probably understood what I meant, right?
I know exactly what you mean.
Okay.
You know, old songs versus
Old songs,
new songs.
right? Exactly. That's all that I mean. Yeah. So, that's pretty much that. Keeping a good headspace and attitude on and off stream. Well, we just kind of talked about that. That's a difficulty. And we talked about some of the ways that you can go about handling it. My recommendation is to play off stream and upload the session, and then, if you do have a small community, you can even talk with them, like, instead of having to play every single game. What are you typing? What's going on here?
Person just messaged me saying OSU does MAC address bans.
MAC address?
You can't change that. That's a physical address of your PC.
Right. So why don't you just use a what? Physical what? I'm sure
Okay, you
there's
have
ways
your...
around this. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's 2015. Like, there's ways to multi-account. Like, come on. There's no way for them to prove that it's not like your sister playing from your house. I don't know.
Indeed.
Like, what the fuck is that? Like, Jesus. Okay. Being overly self-critical to the point of ridiculous. I'm gonna assume ridiculousness. But what do you mean? Like,
The more
well,
I
yeah.
underperform, the more I just self-loathe. I constantly just, you're better than this, you're better than this, but there's kind of an undertone of, I hate you right now because you're sucking right now. Just stop. Stop being shit. Now.
Okay, but ow.
I feel like mentally yelling at myself.
Uh. Well, this goes into a lot of the these questions are very similar. Like the
Yeah,
last,
as I said, they
yeah,
all tie in.
they all tie in, right? Being overly self-critical is just gonna come with, again, accepting that you're not yet good. The best player in the world will only remain the best so long as he does not think he is the best. Even if he is the best, if he doesn't think he's the best, he will remain the best. The second he starts thinking he's the best, he won't be the best. Well, it's obviously not going to be instantaneous, but you know what I mean? He'll stop looking for ways to improve.
Gets complacent.
Yes, exactly. And that's just like the eras in Starcraft in some ways. You know?
Yeah, complacent, you lose focus, you start not caring, things go downhill from there.
Yeah.
Simple logistics. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And see this guy like Penguin KX in the chat? These are people you need to just not worry about because like they're worried that you're able to spend your money the way that you want and they can't because they ask you if you would like to supersize that, you know, when you go to order from them. But you see, like people like this, they're all over the scene, and these are the people that you don't have to worry about because they don't amount to anything and they will never actually affect you, you know.
It's
But
people
like,
like that, the reason that I stopped working in the Oceanic Challenger series as a manager.
yeah. So it's like, you know, it's kind of whatever. But you know, you just tell them that you would like to swap out your Coca-Cola to a Sprite, and you know,
You move forward from there.
yeah. So it's okay.
Simple as that.
Anyways, goals. Reach top 1,000. Well, the thing I'm going to tell you is to stop looking at the ladder for an entire month and just play. Do not look at the ladder. Do not ever ask someone to look where you are, and just fucking play. And you will improve more than if you are looking at the ladder. If I take a gold player right now, if League had only hidden MMR, like 1 week it was not hidden and the next week it was hidden, you would be so fucking shocked how much people would swing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you would have a gold player become platinum and they wouldn't even realize it. That's the best fucking part. Like, then, you know, Riot Light turns on, you know, Tears again, and the guy's like, wait a minute, why am I Plat 4? I was Gold 4, Plat 4 is good, and it's like, no, actually, you're all just, you're bad together. Like, you know, like, you're all just bad
Until
together.
you are top 50 challenger, you suck. Please leave now.
So it's like, well, no, even top challengers, some of them suck. Some of them have gotten S tier by honing one thing, and they're just so good at that one thing, you know.
Yep, that reminds me of powerful Teemo on the Oceanic server.
God bless.
Contrary to the name, they're a Garen main. There was one guy named Weed Whacker which played nothing but fucking Master Yi. Yi top, mid, support, jungle, you name it, it was Yi.
Oh God. So
Thank you, Ocean. Yeah.
what was the final goal thing? Because it's cut off.
Just being able to keep that solid, clear head when I'm approaching the game, be it on or off stream. But due to the advice of just don't stream, you'll climb as long as you practice
No,
adequately.
don't not
But
stream. Like, record your stream and then maybe turn it on live, and then maybe you'll even have fun, like, talking to your very small community or something. You know?
might be interesting.
That's something you can do. It doesn't mean don't ever stream. But what I am saying 100% is stop looking at the fucking ladder. Just don't even look at it and just play. But
Yeah.
don't like, okay, so see, this is that thing that I again, like the most recent video, the man versus machine, where I like broke down that YouTube comment. There are people that I coach or that I say this stuff to, and one of two things will happen after the session. You will go and you will either be like, no, he didn't give me the magic diet pill to make me lose 50 pounds in one night, which doesn't exist, by the way. Or you will go and you'll try some of the stuff I say, but then it's too boring. It's too mundane. Like, it's just like the Karate Kid, you know? Like, why is that? Why do I have to fucking wax on, wax off? I want to be at that cool gym lifting the weights and stuff and having the cool clothes and stuff. The kid doesn't realize that his discipline and, you know, his perseverance and everything is being brought to a level that no one inside of the other gym would have even come close to. You know what I mean? In the end, it's the fundamentals that matter. So anyways, you can do that, and you can then do what I'm saying for a week, and then you decide, like, you know, I'm not feeling it, and then you can stop, and okay. Or you can try doing this for an extended period of time, and I can assure you, throughout all of my history with coaching, thousands of hours and whatever, that you will improve. Now, I can't guarantee, like, to what extent you'll improve, but you'll notice improvement. And then the answer will, for the most part, be the same. Like, if another question arises, it is the same thing. It is the fundamentals. So,
I totally get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. It's a matter of how passionate you are about whichever game it is you play and how dedicated you are to actually master it.
Right. So...
this is something that I've been playing endless amounts of time since I first got into it. You know, I installed it 2 years ago, played it for about 10 minutes and went, this is shit. I tried it, you know, later on in life, after a friend recommended it to me, and I was absolutely hooked, going, holy shit, this is what I've been missing. In fact, It replaced League and WoW for me, which is something huge considering I played WoW since vanilla.
Okay. So, that's pretty much that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers for that.
Another thing you can do is you can use YouTube. If you're anxious about streaming, YouTube is always an alternative, you know? Because it lets...
See, that sounds like a good idea to me. Just posting videos, plays you've made.
But don't get depressed, because YouTube's hard, man. YouTube's not simple. I don't know if there's like a Reddit for OSU or anything, but you know.
Yeah, there is.
Okay, so I mean, I guess there's ways then that you can make connections and talk to people and whatever.
Yeah. They've made a lot of sense, you know. If I'm constantly looking at the ladder, I'm going to be constantly stressed about the ladder. If I'm constantly afraid of, you know, missing or fucking up on stream, well, what's the point in streaming live? I may as well just make a video and post it online. Whether people like it or not, it's no object. Made the video, put it out there. What happens. People have opinions. That kind of thing. If I want to get better, practice.
Right.
Number one thing. It's just practice all the time.
Right.
You know, you mentioned not putting in time required, you know. That 7 hours streaming, I could be doing, you know, 9 hours of just solid practice, maybe even more, depending on what I've got going on that particular day. But, you know, dedicate that to just solid practice. It just makes sense.
Another thing is dedicate... Jesus, why can't I think of the word? Oh my god. Oh my god, I hate this. I have like brain fog happening the last few months, and honestly, it makes me want to like cry. Basically, back to back hours, just one song. Do you know what I mean? And then slowly and gradually add handicaps, and then try to work your way into blindfold, or like eyes closed.
Yep.
Maybe eyes closed is a little bit more difficult if you're not really in tune with your mouse, but man, if you can pull it off on one song, you'll probably improve so much. Like, but eyes closed is 100%.
I've already got an idea of which song to use.
Huh?
I've already got an idea of which song to use. I just need to master playing it on Hard Rock and Hidden first.
Right.
You know, take those gradual steps to being able to just memorize the map and shit on it with a blindfold.
And I mean, that would be pretty fucking cool. I doubt that anyone has done a blindfold video in the OSU community. So
I don't recall anything like that ever happening.
So if you can do a blindfold song, like that'd be awesome for a YouTube video. That'd probably get you hits.
I like that idea.
So,
Yeah, you're a logical man, Nick. Logical man.
Yeah. So, I think that pretty much wraps it. Do you have anything else?
Not really. Just thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sometimes you just need someone else to, you know, throw truth at you before you go, yeah, that makes sense. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
You know? It's all so simple when you think about it.
Okay. So, yeah. All right, man.
All right.
If you need
Catch
anything,
you later, man.
Yeah, just message me on Facebook or something.
Yep.
Okay?
Not a problem, dude. Have
All
a
right.
good one.
All right, good luck with everything.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. All right.